I once spent something like 6 hours driving through the desert from Nevada to Southern California listening to Joe Rogan the whole time. Then a few days ago I was on Steam and I found The Long Drive. Now, I get to replicate that trip, most importantly alone, and without Joe Rogan. Developed and produced by Gen Z, who from what I can gather is just one guy, and currently in early access, your goal is simple: go see Mom. I'm also fairly sure her note was written on some sort of government paper, but who am I to judge? Getting there, however, is a different story. You start off in what I can only describe as the finest Eastern Bloc Soviet jank, and it's expected to take you 500 kilometers and probably 500 more to see Mom. Now, this is one of those games you'll look at and you'll notice you can plainly see both ends of your arms. The bunnies are literal nightmare fuel, and many a gold bar as well as the occasional helping hand. Needless to say, it looks like it could use a few more minutes in the oven. And the list of wacky stuff in this game is endless, and from what I can tell, there is very little reason for a large chunk of it, and that will either sell you or make you want to throw it in the bin. The vehicles drive much smoother than they have any right to. The actual vehicle itself, however, is almost always rust. As for the car itself, as I said, the game does supply you with the finest Eastern Bloc transport, most of which look like a Trabant. And just as a quick aside, the Trabant was made in East Germany when the Berlin Wall was still up, and is probably one of the better known symbols of that whole era. But I feel like a lot of love was put into these cars. Every new game you get a randomized vehicle, which is mostly rust or mostly rust with paint. Switching your home and other locations along the route, you'll get things like wire brushes, scrubby sponges, and spray bottles, which, when used on the car, make it look less rusty. You then have to fill the gas tank, the oil, and the coolant, general car stuff. After that, though, you just throw open the band doors and you're off. That's it, until you crash in either a spectacular fashion, ending the game, or forcing you to restart. Overall, though, personally think the game is a lot of fun, but it is not for everyone. The obvious comparison here is the similarities to that Penn and Teller game with the real-time bus trip. It all works perfectly fine, but depending on your tolerance for jank, you will either enjoy this or you won't. So I'll give it 3 arbitrary horror bunnies out of 7.